Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to the ASL Season 20. It's time for our final group in the round of 24. We've made it. We made it through the best of ones here. We're right at the end now, and we've got a heck of a group for today. We've got Hero, Barracks, Royal, and of course, who could possibly forget BTS? I was just looking it up as I'm talking here. Totally forgot BTS, man, but he is an interesting player as well. From StarCraft 2, true, turning over into StarCraft 1 and making a bit of a splash. I'm not sure about his chances in this group, though, because there is some heavy competition here.
Oh, absolutely. Saying, yeah, Hero, Royal, and Barracks, they're very heavy hitting contenders for sure. But my predictions aren't actually Hero and Royal, like maybe a lot of you guys back at home are thinking about. They might be the two highest tier players in the group, technically speaking, but I'm actually got my eyes set on Hero and Barracks for the two contenders breaking out from this group. I think we shared similar sentiments about that, saying.
Yeah, for sure. Barracks, he's been on the come up recently. He's been absolutely grinding, and it shows. SCSL last season, season 2, he managed to win out over Light, and that's why I'm predicting him going through with Hero as well. Royal has been a staple in the ASL for a very long time, but he hasn't been impressing me as much recently. He has an ASL title from the past, but that's not the same Royal we have here, and it's not the same lineup we've got either. Like, the players have advanced, the strategies have deepened, and I think Royal's getting a little bit left behind.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the case. Like once upon a time, Royal was considered to be a very strong terror, and I just think his short stint is pretty much over. Maybe he can come back to previous heights, previous glory, and eventually get another coveted ASL belt title. But it's going to be a big challenge for him. We're just getting a little bit of a shot on screen now of BTS. That's true. We're going to be calling him True pretty much most of the time during this group stage, since that is his StarCraft 2 ID. But this is going to be a really interesting group. I think it's going to be strange that it's opening with mirrors, though, because we've got Hero and BTS in that first game, and then Royal and Barracks. I mean, this is going to be strange because if there is some kind of upset, like, I mean, as anything can happen in a one game of Zerg versus Zerg. So let's say, hypothetically, True beats Hero, pushes him down to that loser's match, then that could really throw the group on its head a little bit, and we might have some upsets. It is possible.
Yeah, that's for sure. Zerg versus Zerg, such a chaotic matchup. I imagine Hero will be able to get the better of BTS, but we'll have to watch for those openers. See what BTS wants to do there. TVT, I think Barracks definitely has the upper hand, but again, anything can happen. Royal might find a way to make it to that winner's match. We'll have to watch.
Yeah, I'm just going to talk a little bit about their qualifier stages as I usually do at the start here. So Hero, he smashed through Tyson 2-0 in the semis and also slapped down Sark in that finals match of his day one qualifiers. This was one of the groups where a Chinese player, Zhao Shuai, a Zerg, actually made it through to the semis but got beat up by Sark. Royal, he had a pretty confident run in his day two attempts, taking out Probe 2-0 and then also knocking out Absolute in a TVC finals match. He was responsible, by the way, for eliminating Killer, and it was Killer that had dashed Zhao's Wei's hopes of qualifying for this ASL. Big shout out to these Chinese players, though, including Mihu, who are coming so close to breaking into this tournament. Saying Barracks, meanwhile, he breached through his group stage on day one without a hitch, responsible for taking out Killer 2-0 in the finals, and he was the champion, like we were saying, of that SCCSL Season 3 not long ago. And this guy has been on the up and up for a while now, a student of light in which he defeated 4-1 in that SCSL finals match, and one of the best mechanical Terrans on the planet for the time being. I really think he has a good shot of getting out of this group. And last but not least, BTS, who will be calling True, as that was his StarCraft 2 pro gamer ID, actually managed to beat up Mind 2-0 in the semis, and then also shut down Bishop in the final. So he's performing pretty good in ZVT lately, so let's see if he can translate that to a successful group stage here, where his work will be cut out for him for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking for a good performance from BTS. We haven't quite seen it yet, but he has the opportunity now to take out at least one of these Terran players. I think he stands a pretty reasonable chance of taking down either Royal or Barracks, but I mean, Royal is pretty darn strong in that TVZ matchup, and his overall stats do reflect that.
Yeah. I think no matter what happens, this will be an interesting group. It's very curious that we're going to be starting off with 2 mirror matchups, but I do think it will devolve into Terran versus Zerg along the way, despite starting off this way. So it's not going to be that big of a deal starting things off here. But man, I really do hope that Hero breaks through to this next round, and joining him, I think Barracks would be a worthy contender going into the round of 16. I think Royal definitely might be considered deserving of one of those spots, but I would much rather see Hero and Barracks there.
Yeah, I mean, Barracks, last season, it was a bit of a heartbreaker. Him and Speed both kind of broke my heart, performing so well in the lead up to ASL, bashing through their groups in the round of 24, and then getting knocked out in the round of 16, kind of stumbling on themselves, maybe getting caught up in the moment and having a hard time. Maybe this season, though, I mean, with Speed already getting through in the round of 24, Barracks, he's going to get there again and, put on a better show for us and really show us what he can do.
Yeah, now I think what will be interesting about this group is mainly this Zerg versus Zerg to kick things off, because I mean, it's not technically Hero's best matchup, right? And like we were talking about, best of 1, Zerg versus Zerg, pretty much anything can happen. So it is possible that True goes through to that winner's match right away. I don't necessarily think he's going to break out of the group, even if that does happen, but that would be one of the ways he can do so, and would also make this group way more interesting as a result. So that's the thing I'm really curious about. Are we going to be seeing this upset in game number 1 to really keep things spicy or not?
Well, BTS, aka True, I mean, he has a bit of a different backstory than some of these other guys who are coming up in the scene right now. He's been an absolute killer in StarCraft 2. He's had so much stage time that he's not going to be feeling as much pressure as other players who are kind of new to the ASL. I believe he was in last season, didn't make it too far, but just getting in once or twice, a lot of players just get swept up in the moment. They have a hard time performing on stage. Probably not the case here for True, who's been multiple stages around the world for the StarCraft 2.
Yeah, I mean, he did play in the, Kesper scene a little bit back in the day as a lone. He just didn't really shine. This is the problem with a lot of Zerg players back in the day, though. I mean, they didn't really have much hope of getting noticed. There was just too many high-level Zergs casting such big shadows, and there were a lot of strong Zerg players back in that era. So yeah, players like True here didn't really get a chance to shine, but he made such a splash in that StarCraft 2 scene. Let's see if he can translate some of that success from that scene over here now. Both players joining us on stage as they get set up in the booth, start aligning their mice and keyboards to the universe to ensure they can play at maximum efficiency.
Alone, another name for BTS. Why do these pro gamers keep changing their names so often? It makes it so much harder to record their history and to remember their stats from the past. Yeah, Alone. I completely forgot about that, but you're totally right. 3 different names here that we could call him. I guess we're just gonna have to go with True.
Right.
I don't know how many StarCraft 2 fans there are out there watching StarCraft Brood War right now, but I mean, this guy was an absolute killer in StarCraft 2, kind of dominant for a time. Now here in StarCraft 1, going to show us what he can do. He hasn't been very successful so far. I feel like there's nothing that really stands out to me in his play, if you know what I mean. Like, there's no, he doesn't really have a speciality. I don't see like any sort of unique play from him. He just seems like a solid macro Zerg, but maybe you have a different opinion there, Xun.
Yeah, I've a slightly different opinion than that because honestly, he has done some pretty innovative stuff. Like he did try using Burrow against Terran offensively, like trying to set up links arounds, utilizing that Burrow upgrade. He has a slightly unique approach to the game as a result of being mainly a StarCraft 2 contender in times recent. So I do think he might have a bit of a fresh take here, a little bit of that on the side of the box thinking that could help him out against some of these guys that are a bit more tunnel vision on their approach to the game. So I don't want to count out his creativity just yet. I have seen some sparks of creativity from him in the past. And Hero, I really want to see more from this guy. He should be an ASL champion by now. He's come second a lot in this tournament. He got knocked out by Flash in the ASL Season 4. And he got knocked out by Sulky 4-3 in the ASL Season 17. So he's got the silver medal at least twice. He could certainly push all the way through and finally get that coveted title saying, and he is definitely one of the most deserving players of a championship. I'm not sure about right this second, but I would say he's like the second best Zerg of all time in recent years.
Yeah, he is on a short list for players who really should be having an ASL title by now. Him and Snow for sure are up there best on that list as well. Bisu, he hasn't had a title, even though he had so many titles in the Kespa era, and he's been so consistent getting into ASL and having some pretty deep runs. He just never has managed to get all the way to the end there. There's so many different players that have been denied recently because of these guys going on such long runs, like Flash getting so many different wins, winning so many titles, and then Sulky now picking up 4 in a row, looking for his 5th. Can anyone dethrone him? I think Hero might have a chance if he manages to meet him somewhere along this line.
Well, I can promise you that Sulky is terrified of a Zerg versus Zerg series. That's the one thing he wants to avoid at all costs. It's so much harder for him to map that out and control the game state at any given time. He's really good in that versus Terran and Protoss matchups. He can kind of see the matrix when he's playing those. But when it comes to ZVZ, it's a bit of a coin flip in terms of how he's going to navigate that. And he knows it's his weakest matchup of all time. He's always kind of struggled. And historically speaking, most of his significant losses have been to Zergs. So, I mean, yeah, I think someone like Hero, Soma, Jadong, one of these guys could be the contender needed to stop this guy from getting a 5th title consecutively.
Here he is on screen now, looking intense. He's ready for the ZVZ. How is he going to open? We've seen some hatch first builds in that all Zerg group. We saw, some 12 pools as well. We haven't really seen the players going for that 9 pool speed to try and punish. And I think that might be indicative of the meta right now, or maybe just the best of 1 series. You don't want to throw everything on the line just to get slapped down if you go for that 9 pool speed.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see such a short stack of stats here for True. Hasn't really had much of a run in ASL yet. Looking to put more wins on that board. Hopefully not too many losses going forward. Hero was just in a custom game a moment ago, warming up his hands, making sure he's playing as fully as possible. You can see True shaking out his hands as well. They need to stay as limber and loose as possible. You want to play StarCraft with intensity, but you want your hands to be supple while you're doing so. If you tense up too much while you're playing, that stiffness can really hinder your ability to get the mechanics flowing as they need to, and also will tire you out quicker. So yeah, these guys need to stay as loose and calm going forward. You can see some big deep breaths there from True, trying to stable his nerve.
Yeah, I gotta remember to breathe here. It's an intense moment. The cameras are on you, the lights are on you, but you have to stay calm going into this first game. Zerg versus Zerg. What is going to be their opening? I'm so curious to see it, Xun.
We're about to say an ASL Season 20 Group F first game of the day. Hero versus True. And the map, it's going to be Dominator. Let's get started, guys.
Bit of a long pause there before the cheer. I'm not sure if that was for BTS or a hero, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how many people are in the audience here once we get a shot of that. Some days the audience is absolutely full, and some days it's not, and you wouldn't really expect it. Like, the players that we really think about as the best in the world, the ones that we like the most, it's not exactly how the popularity works in Korea. Some players are way more popular than others, even if their stats don't really reflect it.
Calm is a great example of that. He's got so many fans. He's a really charismatic, popular guy when it comes to streaming and what have you. But when it comes to actually performing, not the best of execution. I do think he's a genius when it comes to approaching the game. But in terms of actually executing, he's a little bit mediocre. And yeah, we see a lot of that. And there's some guys, you know, like Bisu, he's going to get a lot of fans showing up to his group stages. So sometimes you get a group stage, even though they're really good high-level players, you don't get as dense of a crowd.
Yeah, it is kind of funny like that. We don't really get to see that too much because we don't speak Korean and we're not able to follow and actually see who's the most charismatic. Some of the people you could just tell, like Larva, you could just tell just by looking at him that this guy is super charismatic. He's going to have a lot of followers. But others, like, I thought that Snow would have way more people watching him than he did. Turns out not as much. We're getting a very similar build here on either side, it looks like. This is looking like a 9-pool on either side with gas. Is it going to be 9-pool speed, or are we going to get 9-pool with the layer?
Right, those are the two main junctions that these two players could go down now. And usually it would be speed, you know, wanting to punish like something like 11 hatch. True actually coming out ahead of things because of actually scouting correctly. With this Overlord, you can see Hero's Overlord way out of position over at that 3 o'clock spot at the moment. Both players have elected to get that speed upgrade first, Saiyan. So I think that's the wisest choice. I think you can't risk allowing your opponent to get away with something like an 11 hatch. You kind of have to go speed first here, especially on a map like Dominator. And let's see what happens. I mean, True could be sneaky. You know, he could run his Lings all the way around Hero Zerglings, go for a backstab, and try and block his ramp against these initial Lings of Hero.
Yeah, this is really common in ZVZ, that one player gets the scout off, the other one sends his Lings across the map and gets backstabbed here. Look at Hero turning his Lings around right at the proper moment, actually. He's going to come in and try to break this as well. Microing on two fronts. This can be really tricky. We'll see who ends up coming out ahead, because this is going to be tough.
Yeah, he did lose a little bit of lost mining time in the main base, but did he get some hits on for free onto Hero's Zerglings. Heroes be careful. He's trying to wrap around and get some drones now on the gas. Does pick off one of those, and a second. Big pickups for Hero already. If he gets a third drone goes down, saying that's absolutely insane. I don't think he lost any drones back at home as well. Hero in a pretty comfortable lead already, despite getting a couple of Lings killed here.
Yeah, that's too bad. I mean, BTS, he tried it for the backstab. It completely backfired, though. And now Hero just needs to set up a little wall at the bottom of his ramp, and he should be absolutely fine. Just keep making Lings here non-stop. Get this wall set up. Very nice wall set up here from Hero. He's just going to reinforce. As soon as one of his Lings dies, he's ready to send in another Ling to kind of reinforce that. Make sure that nothing breaks through. You can try to run by here the moment that you kill one of those Lings, so Hero's got to stay on top of that. But as long as he does, he should have the win here once the Spire is done. You can see the Spire for BTS started way later, and he's just not going to have as many minerals here. Can't even afford to mine the gas. This is a really bad spot for BTS. Basically a win at this point. 3 drones in advantage. It's just about over.
Pretty much. I mean, masterful control from Hero, generally speaking, killing those drones, but also the way he's setting up the wall of Lings so clean, so quickly. I can promise you that is not easy to do. The Lings are, you know, sometimes so fast with that Ling speed that it's hard to get them into the exact pixel perfect spot that you want him to. And you can see, look at this 3-on-1 positioning that Hero's got on these Zerglings. This is such masterfully done by Hero. I can't even explain to you how hard this is. Finally, though, True breaking through just a little bit, get some surface area, but it's not quite enough to completely overwhelm Hero. The mutas are about to hatch. It'll be a little bit tricky for him to get more than 2 drone kills here, but he might still be able to do it. If he kills just 3 drones, that might be able to help put him back into this game. He's got 1 so far. Can he get some more? 2 now. Needs to kill at least 1 more drone to be in a good. Oh, actually get some more drones, and the mutas are actually a little bit slower than I thought. Maybe BTS has done it. I don't know. This is going to be a really weird situation now, saying, because technically there'll be more of a muta advantage temporarily for Hero, but he's lost so many drones. But look at this. True has no mutas on the way. So I don't even know what's going to happen. He's got the 3 mutas, needed to one-shot these Scourge as well. He's going to mine a little bit of gas now so we can afford a pair of Scourge to help him capitalize on this tempo. Needs to be careful. We've had scenarios where just because you've got a muta advantage doesn't mean they can't keep running by with Zerglings into the main base. At the end of the day, StarCraft is a game of who's got the most buildings remaining. If you've got 1 building, you're still in it, but if somehow all your buildings die, you're eliminated. So he has to also go back home to protect against these Zerglings. Hero, though, with this 1 single Zergling, 3 kills on that 1 Ling to rule them all.
Oh my goodness, this is a wacky game, guys. I don't know why Hero didn't try to fight with the drones. There were so many low HP Lings that were in there. Maybe just a little bit of panic in the situation. He was waiting and waiting for those mutas to pop out. Maybe the same thought was going through his mind. Where are my mutas? They're taking so long here. And so he took a lot of damage. He's making more Lings right now to go and try to pressure. Yeah, these Scourge are going to come, and the Lings are out here on the map. They want to attack at the same time, so he can maybe pick off this last drone. But these Lings going across the map could actually kill the remainder of the economy here for BTS. And as long as Hero micros this properly, he should be fine. Ooh, he does lose 1 muta. If he loses another muta, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Oh, another hit there. Are you kidding me? Oh, still 3 mutas alive. That was a very close call there.
Whoa, what a wacky game. Yeah, 2 Zerglings, though, in the main base of True. Going to try and eliminate those drones as quick as possible. He also needs to micro these mutas so well to keep them alive. Just 1 shot from 2 of those mutas would take them down. You can one-shot these Scourge as well. We've got Patrol. All 3 of them have taken shots. Hero needs to be so careful. Oh, he loses 1. This is absolutely wild, saying, can True eliminate Hero here just because he's fumbled the ball a little bit with this mutalist control? Has another pair of Zerglings going into the main base of True. This is crazy.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you can't even one-shot the Scourge anymore. So as long as he keeps on top of this and moving the Scourge behind you, you're never going to be able to kill those. He's got just 1 drone. There's 1 drone to no drones left for True. He gets it. He gets the 1 muta. Oh my gosh, it's gonna come down to like 2 Lings, Xun.
No
GG!
way.
Oh
True
my god, you're kidding me. Oh no. No. There's no way that just happened. Oh,
Wow.
True is gonna go
laughing.
through to the winner's match. He's laughing so hard right now because there's no way he should have won that game.
Oh, absolutely. Like, that slipped through the fingers of Hero for sure, guys. There's no way about it. He fumbled that ball so hard. And True can't believe it. God just reached down and handed him a gift personally and said, here you go, buddy. You're through to that winner's match, and you already have a chance at breaking out of this group 2-0 now. And your qualifier matches went really good, ZVT. So maybe this guy has a very strong fighting chance of going all the way now. We were talking about this before the game, that there could be an upset in this Zerg versus Zerg due to that best of 1 nature, and it has come to pass.
I mean, this was going so well for Hero. He was in an absolutely undefeatable spot. If he just makes some Lings rather than getting greedy and making 3 mutas at a time, he should have been able to hold this. It's so painful. Let's see the Lings. I want to see the health on the Lings. Look at these 2 Lings that are just about to die. Just attack. Just attack, Hero. I can't believe he didn't attack with those drones and just let all of these drones, like, just straight up fighting, you maybe lose 3 drones, but he ended up losing nearly everything here and finally decides to fight. Once the other Lings arrive, it's crazy what an upset this is, Xun, but Hero really threw this game, my goodness.
I mean, he even almost won the game after that happened. It was crazy how much of a nail biter this was. He had total tempo with those mutas in the sky. Just needed to execute, kill those Scourge units with the patrol micro. Basically, if you, as you're running away from the Scourge, if you don't kind of use the patrol command just ahead of where your mutas are, they'll kind of flip around and shoot the Scourge. And you execute another move command just after doing so, you can effectively kill all of the Scourge without ever getting hit. But it does require quite precise, calm micro, and maybe here a little bit stressed out with that wild situation, not able to do so. We're going to go into a quick break here, guys. Don't go anywhere. Run to the bathroom, grab some water, get some fruit, grab a beer, grab some popcorn, whatever you need. We'll be right back with this next match. It's going to be Barracks versus Royal.
Goodness, the group has just been thrown on its head, boys and girls. Hero has been dropped down to the losers by BTS. Did not see that coming, but like we said at the beginning, best of one ZVZ is so chaotic, and that was definitely a good example.
Oh, yeah, really exciting to witness a game like that. It's hard to even just keep up with the action. I'm sure you guys at home were like, what is even going on half the time? Really insane stuff for sure, saying. Already, this group is super spicy, and both of these Terrans probably looking at that winners match like, hang on a minute, that probably will be a nice, easy TVZ for me. They're probably a little bit more concerned about having to face off against Hero than True. Barracks himself, such a potent Terran versus Zerg player. I think he would have a real shot of just smashing through this group if he can somehow dispatch of Royal now.
And by the same token, I really don't want to go to the losers match here because then I have to take on Hero at a best of one for my tournament life. It's a crazy prospect here.
Yeah.
We've got this TVT coming up now. Royal here, 42% win rate in that matchup. I think Barracks definitely the favorite here, despite Royal being an ASL champion.
Yeah, I think that title isn't really relevant to his current ability, unfortunately. He's just not been performing super great. I mean, equally, Hero hasn't been that in shape in recent times. The last few ASLs, he was looking super strong. He hasn't really been shining as of yet. You can see Barracks, his stats actually don't really reflect his ability. I can assure you, he's one of the best Terran versus Zerg players in the world, and unironically, one of the best mechanical Terran players, generally speaking, in the world as well. I always love his like deer in the headlights look when he's playing StarCraft. Like he's locked into the game so much, he wants to open his eyes as wide as possible and get all those pixels downloaded into his brain.
Yeah, I mean, Barracks, you're definitely right about the stats not really reflecting him or his play. He's been coming up so hard in the scene recently. He's had some appearances in the ASL before, but this is a completely new Barracks here in 2025. He is just crushing it. He's such a scary player, and I think Royal is going to be a little bit worried about taking this guy on TVT.
Yeah, I would say Royal looks like the calmer contender of the two, but I can assure you, I think there's more confidence on Barracks' side of the stage here. I think Royal's just doing a better job of hiding some doubt in his brain there. I think Barracks is going to be feeling a lot more confidence there, and I think both players are ready to be jumping right into the action. ASL Season 20, guys. Group E, Barracks versus Royal on Dominator. Let's get it started.
Royal down here in the bottom left. Barracks top left. It's going to be a battle for that high ground. Gotta make sure that your opponent doesn't take that over, and so aggressive builds will be rewarded here.
Yeah,
no doubt. Lots of aggression in this match. TVT has changed so much over the past couple of years. It has really been refined and honed into a deadly matchup.
Yeah, we see so much more action. I mean, and not even just because of the Vulture Wars. Like, the Vulture Wars was one of the only ways in which Terran vs. Terran has been spicy a few years ago. But it's evolved much more beyond just the Vulture Wars now. Everyone is just so good at finding a more dynamic approach to the matchup in a general sense. Like, there's no more of this, like, I'm going to control this lane and just sit back and macro for 20 minutes and get up into battle cruisers with your motos, and it's a battle of who can EMP whose battle cruisers and blah blah blah. It's none of that anymore. There's all kinds of shenanigans, different ways of thinking. That even one guy will go mass wraiths occasionally, and the other guy will go Valkyries to counter it. There'll be loads of dropship play all over the place. Just, yeah, generally speaking, absolute craziness that can occur in this matchup. It's much more interesting to watch and cast as a result of that.
Ooh, this Barracks is way later here for Royal.
Yeah, I mean, is he even going to make a Barracks? Is he going to 14 CC?
Looks like
he's scouting for BBS.
Yeah, he's scouting for BBS in the center. 14 CC. Uh-oh. Royal. Wait, what?
What? I'm so confused. This is the strangest way I've seen someone play Terran vs. Terran in a while. Like, I guess he wants to optimize his minerals to make a bunker expand, and he just made the Barracks as late as possible without dying to something like a forward Rax. And as long as there's no Barracks in the center of the map, this is fine.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense right now. Marine is going to be coming across the map. The bunker should be starting here soon. Marine is going to take a while to come out here. We'll see this the positioning of the Barracks, the forward Barracks. And
he's chasing
kind of
the SCV.
Baits the Marine as well. Okay, this is pretty good for Royal, actually. Keeping this Marine busy for now. I mean, he will be able to get this bunker expand going and take a pretty sizable advantage here early on.
Yeah, I'm sure Royal's just got it mapped out where he can make the Barracks this late and still be safe as long as there's no... Oh,
double factory.
This is going to get crazy. This is going to get crazy real quick, saying. Yeah, 2 factory play from Barracks could just slap down Royal before this build can get its legs under it. I mean, this is going to get wild really quickly. Has Barracks just read the soul of Royal here and can suss this out without even scouting? Is this Star Sense that good?
Well, it's not a straight up win here if he goes for this double factory. If Royal gets a factory out and then manages to get a starport down, pretty good chance that he can actually stop this. You're not likely to get eBay or Goliaths with an attack like this. You're just going to make a bunch of units and try to break your opponent's front. He just sees the bunker now, so Barracks is going to be able... Oh, he's going to hide a factory. Wait a second. Or a starport. What exactly were we seeing here from Royal? Something sneaky on the left-hand side.
Yeah, it's definitely a proxy starport or something like that, trying to be super sneaky. Maybe he'll change his mind though, depending on what he scouts. Looks like he's just doing a delayed SCV scout with it for the time being. Maybe he was going to do something like that and then changed his mind. It's hard to say, but this SCV won't even get in to really confirm anything. It's not even going to see if there's a natural CC that has been placed or not. So he has no idea saying about this second factory potential play from Barracks, unless he can just somehow read into it.
This is going to be scary here. Barracks can build his own bunker, and then he can start a tank push. And there's just a second factory, a third factory from Royal. Oh my goodness. This is going to get really weird here, guys. I'm not sure how this is going to turn out, but I think Barracks has a pretty good chance of breaking this wall.
Yeah, he's gonna just try and like not even wait for siege and just try and start,
ranging it down.
Bunker with the tank. Yeah. Because the tank can kill the SCVs repairing almost. It depends on the angle. From the right hand side, it's hard for the tank to do that without siege mode. But he's actually rushed into siege mode right away, so it doesn't even matter. He can't really repair this bunker anymore. So he's gonna make a panic bunker in the back line to fall back to. And Barracks, meanwhile, will make a bunker of his own just in case there was some. Two-port Wraith play follow-up that would shut this down.
Yeah, he's got the bunker there. Yeah, you're not going to see much more anti-air than that. Here comes the next tank. Going to go up onto this high ground, and like we were saying at the beginning, oh my gosh, running by with the vultures? Craziness. Crazy from Barracks. That actually removes the ability of him to kind of gun down the SCVs. So we could see Royal try to break this with SCVs now. That's a real possibility. Yeah, he's just going to pull the SCVs. No vultures anymore, so he's not going to be able to gun those down quickly. Diving on top of the tanks. Dude, I think Barracks just threw this. I think Barracks just messed this up.
He might still be okay, though. He is doing a lot of damage to Royal. I think that was a bit of a mistake to put the vultures into the main base lane, but it doesn't matter. He's killed so many of the SCVs off Royal. Royal does have siege mode finally finishing up, so he can try and hold the line. Does get some good shots off on one of those siege tanks of Barracks. The vulture trying to get the finisher on that. Doesn't get the splash damage help from that lower siege tank, unfortunately. So the tank will live for Royal. What a weird situation we have. Barracks will eventually have to expand to make this into an actual game. And I mean, Royal has done a good job of holding the line. I mean, yes, technically that was a throw by Barracks, but he's not out of the game yet.
No, I mean, it's such a weird situation here. One of those tanks lived on almost no HP, by the way. It's getting repaired now. If I think if Royal had just targeted that down and not tried to get both tanks in that scenario, he wouldn't have lost all of his SCVs, and he would have gotten at least that second tank. He's building a Wraith, or he's building a starport, excuse me. He will have a Wraith here eventually, but now that there's a Goliath, I'm not sure that he can stop this. Oh, the tank is barely going to live. Barely gets pulled back in time. He will be able to repair that. Royal having a very hard time breaking this. He should just lift the CC. I'm really confused why he's not doing that, just continuing to repair rather than lift and just repair it a little bit closer to the mineral patches.
Yeah, that's really crazy, by the way. I have no idea why he's doing that. He's not even mining right now from it. I think he will eventually go back to that. But now that the Barracks is floating back over here, he will start shelling that yet again with the Arcalite shot cannons. Now he lifts the CC. He's going to have to go. Yeah, he's going to have to try and push forward, see if he can bait enough shots from Barracks with the SCVs and vultures. Good target firing from Barracks, shelling some of those tanks down. Can he dislodge this tank position? It looks like he might be able to. Just one more shot does finish off that tank, but Barracks responds with that Goliath, those twin autocannons, taking out that last remnant hope of Royal. Royal taps out, and it's going to be Barracks joining us in that winner's match against True.
Oh my gosh, the tank pushed forward there. Kind of messed it up. He was so clumped as he was moving into position. Royal, oh my gosh. What a crazy game we're having here. What a crazy night of StarCraft so far. Group F, just really kind of shocking, actually, with some of the mistakes that are happening. But, I mean, Barracks, he definitely executed a good attack there. He managed to keep those tanks alive. He managed to repair some very low tanks and keep that attack going. But it was super close to being broken by Royal.
I mean, so far, saying our expectations have come to pass. I warned you guys about that upset in that Zerg versus Zerg, and I certainly told you that I liked Barracks' hopes over Royal getting out of this group. We'll see if that still comes to pass or not. Still, anything could happen. I mean, doesn't necessarily mean that Royal's going to be eliminated. He has that losers match against Hero to contend with to try and hold on to his tournament lifeline. You can see this Vulture did pull back the tank of Royal a little bit, but it didn't really matter that he delayed that supply depot, so it wasn't really worth it to bring those Vultures into the main base, as now this would have been much easier to clean up. This was Royal's gambit to get out of the woods, but unfortunately was unable to do so. Barracks barely holding on, that bunker really paying off as well in the end, and was able to get a forward tank position to shut down this ramp location and start shelling the command center, so he didn't have to make a CC of his own back at home to transition. He just had to execute and shut down this natural of Royals.
Okay, I see what happened there. That tank kind of wandered forward and ended up going low. I thought that was part of the SCV bust attempt there, but no. Oh my gosh, just what a crazy game. Hard to keep up with that, all the action there, but both of these mirror matchups going absolutely ballistic, and we're going to have Barracks versus BTS in the finals. That is a crazy result, guys.
Yeah, this group is already so spicy. Who would have thought that we'd already be at this junction after such a short time? Those TVTs can sometimes still last a long time, but not in this case. Saying, I really do feel like Barracks is going to be slapping down True in that winners match, though I don't give too much hope for True going out 2-0. But I guess anything can happen. He has been playing pretty good in that versus Terran matchup as of late. Let's see what he can bring in terms of spicy games to the table soon. He has got some creative spark when it comes to this ZVT matchup. I'm curious what he's got in store for Barracks.
Yeah, it's going to have to be something special, dude. Barracks is so strong in this matchup. He puts on another world of pressure. You're going to be down in the depths very quickly and just being absolutely compacted by Terran's metal. Barracks is so scary in this matchup, and he has some of the best marine control. Like we saw Mong, this ASL kind of fall by the wayside, kind of falter when it comes to marine medic control, and we've talked about it. Like he's not the best, but Barracks, he has such strong marine medic control. It's definitely one of his strengths, and I think we're going to see some 4 racks play out of him. I'm just going to call it right now. 4 racks plus 1. It's such a good build right now, and it's definitely going to play to Barracks' strengths.
Oh, absolutely. He's like the upper end of the spectrum as someone like Mong, having a little bit of a hard time versus Protoss. But when it comes to this Terran versus Zerg matchup, he's just so dominant. We're going to be seeing absolute sparks fly when these two contenders collide in that winners match. Saying, who would have thought as well that we'd have True in that winners match to join him as well? But we did speculate that that upset was a possibility, and it did come to pass. I mean, Hero, he did blunder that a little bit, but I can't completely fault him. I mean, Zerg versus Zerg is such a volatile matchup. Generally, I'll be looking to see if Hero can redeem himself in that losers match against Royal.
Yeah, hopefully he can make his way back into that finals. I bet these other two players, BTS and Barracks, hoping that he doesn't make it through. Whoever loses in that winners match will have to likely be facing off against Hero in that final match. It could be another upset, though. We'll see. I mean, Hero might be completely rattled by that match versus BTS. I mean, he's such a storied player. He has so much experience, but that was a really rough loss. Like he threw that game like nobody's business. That was almost a Tyson level throw there.
Yeah, he didn't look too phased by it in the aftermath. I mean, True was laughing, and Hero didn't have much of a sense of humor about it at all. But he also wasn't like throwing his head back and doing a mini. So maybe he's going to be cool as a cucumber and just get his head together. I don't know. I mean, it did seem to bother him a little bit. Obviously, that game didn't go the way he had expected, especially with his advantageous position after sniping those 3 drones. But I mean, yeah, he knows deep down, I think, that anything can happen in the ZVZ. I'm sure he won't take it too much to heart, and he will still play his mind out in this losers match against Royal that we'll be having later on.
Yeah, I'm expecting him to turn it up here and bring us a great game versus Royal, who is a bit of a TVZ specialist. He's really strong in that matchup. I don't know if he's strong enough to take down Hero, but I mean, maybe we're going to get a longer game here, guys. We've had some very short games today, despite having a TVT in the mix.
Yeah, it's crazy how fast we are advancing through this. Maybe that's why these casters are talking so much now about the sponsors. They need to stretch out the airtime, get the absolute maximum juice possible out of the orange for hiring out this venue and having this many staff, this many fans here today. They probably want to get their money's worth. So, yeah, a few more words from them. And now we're going to our break. So, run to the bathroom, grab your popcorn, whatever your tipple of choice may be, just some water and fruit if you want to remain healthy. And join us again soon for that winners match. It's going to be Barracks versus True.
All right, guys, we are back. The winner's match now. BTS versus Barracks. I didn't think this is the one we were going to get, but I'm happy to see it. BTS, see what he can do against Barracks. This best of one, and I'm super curious which map we're going to get. Xun?
Yeah.
Have you got the translation?
Oh, I haven't. Do you want me to do it?
Go ahead. I'm super curious if there's Screaming, if it's either Screaming Sea. It doesn't look like Screaming Sea. Pretty short name there. Probably just going to be Knockout, but there's always that chance that one of these players wants to go to the crazier maps and pull out some cheese or pull out a special strategy.
Yeah, it's going to be Litmus, by the way. So we got that double gas, crazy spiciness. We could be seeing some real creativity here today.
Oh, that is exciting. I have been wanting to see this map, Litmus, come out. It's such a wild map, and I'm curious who actually let this one through. Possibly BTS, could be Barracks as well. Maybe he's got something special planned. There is a way into the main base through the back that can be significantly abused by the Terran player. And we've seen it before. You can also go like super one base here as the Terran and just put on a lot of pressure, make it really hard for the Zerg, and you don't even need that second base to go into a lot of different tech with that extra gas geyser.
Yeah, it's going to be super curious how these guys want to approach this. They just, warming up right now. Looks like True is playing a custom game against a computer, warming up his hands, whereas Barracks is just using a heat pack. What these guys are going to do on a map like Litmus, I mean, there's so many interesting things you can do, like one base timings with Terran, with that extra gas afforded to you. There's so much interesting stuff you could do. You could do like crazy Zerg on not many bases. There's just so much room for, ingenuity and just a different way of playing the game. What these players want to do, big sigh of relief from both of these guys as they're about to jump in now, putting on their headphones, getting ready to join the match and lock in. This is going to get crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you could go crazy Zerg, but those gases in the main base run out so fast. I don't know if you can even get to Hive just off of those two.
Well, let's find out. It's the ASL Season 20 Group F, guys. True versus Barracks on Litmus. Let's get it started.
BTS spawning down here in the bottom right. Barracks top right. This is a crazy map, guys. Some sort of weird conglomeration of a bunch of different maps we've seen in the past. Dark Origin, Butter. A whole bunch of weird ideas are being used here. There's so many different pathways through the middle of the map. It can be really difficult to cover them all when it comes to the defilers walking across, and there's also that back pathway which you're gonna have to take extra care to make sure that there's no vultures hopping over or potentially lings hopping over the back there too. There's so many different moves that can be made here. We haven't seen enough of this map to really know how it's supposed to be played in TVZ, but looks like Barracks is going to put on some early pressure, show us how it's done.
Yeah, well, while this game is getting underway, I mean, there's so many different things that these players can do. For example, True could just do like a 2-base Hive timing attack, like go straight into Defiler tech with lurkers and try and get those Cheeto dust clouds right on top of the natural expansion of Barracks early on. Pretty much anything is possible in terms of range of play on this map, and he's going to eBay block. Yeah, he's going to eBay block. Okay. I mean, this is a really nice take on the game because, I mean, you're supposed to pull drones to deal with this. And let's see what True does. He needs to pull a few extra drones, about 3 or 4 extra drones to come and stop this. And it does seem like True knows the correct response. So going to be coming down in and trying to shut this down. A little bit of extra HP squeezed out on that engineering bay to make it as long as possible in terms of time to kill for those drones. So being a little bit annoying with this eBay block and completely disrupting the normal ebb and flow and build order path that True was going to go for.
Yeah, and then the follow-up here looks like some sort of wall right above. Is that what we're going to see? Like right into a 1-1-1 build? That's sneaky.
Yeah.
That is very sneaky.
Oh, well,
Barracks has got a good plan here, I think.
Well, it could be two-port Wraith as well, right? Like, you could just go straight into Wraiths from there and hope that the lair timing for True is so delayed because of these shenanigans that he'll just be far too disrupted to stabilize after the fact.
Yeah, and there's also the problem here of not being able to build that sunken colony in time. You're going to have to wait for that natural to finish and then be able to throw down the sunken once the creep has started to spread. This is going to be a bit of a hard time here for BTS. Let's see how he navigates it now.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay against the Vulture because of how late this factory lines up. So I think he'll still be okay. But yeah, I'm curious about the follow-up from Barracks in terms of, are we going into two-port Wraith or not? We'll have to wait and see what his thought process is. He doesn't have to. He could just do like a 1-1-1 build, go straight into something like Valkyries and take his expansion a bit belatedly here. Anything is possible. He might even yet throw down the CC now and do a 1-1-1 build.
I was expecting him to do some sort of one base play, seeing how strong that can be. But
Right.
he does want to go into this second CC, kind of open himself up to a little bit, but also get into a more normal mid game where he's got a lot more economy to work with. And yeah, this is going to be much more resembling a normal game rather than what we've seen in TVZ so far on this map.
Yeah, I mean, it could have very quickly diverged into a very spicy game, for sure, Saiyan, but it's not going to be. Like, this was kind of like a double fake out by Barracks. He's being super annoying with that eBay block, and as you can see, True throwing down a very quick Hydra Den to stabilize against anything like a Speed Vulture run by or a Wraith timing that he would need to worry about, but actually it's going to be a very traditional 1-1-1 style from Barracks. Yes, he's prioritizing that tech tree by racing ahead into that starport, but he's not going to be doing anything too crazy in this very early game. He's going to be expanding still. He's going to be getting all of his I's dotted, his T's crossed, and we could see a very solid game from both sides as a result.
Is he going Lurker? I'm looking at this build, and I'm wondering what exactly we're having here, because it seems like Barracks is actually going to get himself into Valkyrie after the fact. So maybe this will actually shut down Barracks pretty heavily.
Lurkers do counter Valkyries for sure, saying and it's possible that True is trying to blind counter him here, and he's assuming that this will be a Valkyrie follow-up, and this is one way he can get a very technical win over Barracks by just rushing into Lurkers right off the bat. And he's going to have a few bio units, but because of the nature of the 1-1-1 build, it's a little bit on the flimsy side, and with the wall in as well, it's harder to defend against Lurkers because you can't just make 3 bunkers to easily hold that. Usually, if you do know it's like a 2-base Lurker play, you kind of need to throw down like at least 3 bunkers, and sometimes even upwards of 4 or 5, depending on the nature of that 2-base Lurker play. And yeah, it's gonna have a hard time doing that with a massive wall in the way.
So BTS, aka True, he's gonna try to get this Vulture. If he can kill that Vulture, then he can completely disguise the build here. He's got a good group of Lings out on the map. He's looking for the Vulture now, and the Lurkers are gonna have a clear path across the map. Doesn't want to get caught by, some random mine or something like that. So he's sending the Lings first, and he's trying to catch this Vulture the best that he can. Something is a little bit off here. Definitely. Barracks almost gets caught there, but he manages to keep it alive. He's definitely wondering what's up now. Oh, great surround there from BTS. This could do huge damage. This is a really scary moment for Barracks. Oh my goodness, he's gonna get right in front and blocks the medic out as well. That medic is never gonna approach that back line, and so only 1 medic here, and the bunker's gonna die. This is an insanely bad spot for Barracks, and he's gonna get right up here on the ramp as well. Oh my god, so many SCVs! Oh, absolutely eliminated every single SCV, and Barracks is just about out of this game. There it is. GG. Just like that, boys. BTS goes out first.
True is in the round of 16. He's laughing. He's smiling. I'm not even sure if he can believe it himself. It's absolute insanity. He's been training hard. His creativity has paid off here today. He read the soul of Barracks. He knew that was most likely going to be some kind of Starpot follow-up, and a Valkyrie play was definitely in the cards for Barracks. And because of that, the two base lurker timing absolutely wrecked face, and with the wall in, it's so hard to stop a lurker bust like that, especially if you don't scout it early. Saying, wow, I can't even believe what I'm saying. True going out first.
Yeah, this is the first big upset, the round of 24. True making it out here rather than Barracks. Now it's either like one of these three players is going to get through, but two of them are going to be eliminated. That's crazy if Hero ends up going down here. I mean, I would be completely shocked, but one of these guys, only one can make it through, and it's going to be just an absolute bloodbath in the rest of this group.
I don't even know what to say about it. I mean, Barracks is through to that finals match still. But I mean, now we got a spectacle between Hero and Royal as well coming up. And the main thing we're seeing here by the Observer is that there was no scout from Barracks. Like, he's just completely playing blind at the moment. And he's kind of just going through the motions. And that's really cost him here. He's allowed these lurkers to be unscouted, just get right up into his face before even finishing this one bunker. Even this bunker wouldn't save him. But he can't even get that online. It's absolute crazy. The lack of scouting is palpable, saying. And he's really done well, that's true, to shut Barracks down in quite a fashion. Look at those subterranean spines ripping through the SCV line as well. Glorious if you are a Zerg player at home watching that. True. Maybe a new crowd favorite on the cards.
Yeah, surprised that we didn't see Barracks make at least one Wraith with the 1-1-1. That's generally your tool for scouting in these type of situations. Just get in there and see what's going on. But he just had no idea what was coming at all. And True was able to completely blindside him. Barracks thought he knew what was coming. He thought it was going to be a Mutalisk transition, and he was completely off.
This is the funny thing about StarCraft is, like, Barracks was being too big for his boots. Like, he delays the natural expansion with the engineering bay, and he's like, yeah, he'll probably will still go muters. He'll just do it a little bit later. So I'll be even greedier. I'll skip over making a Wraith, and I just won't even bother attempting anything like a Vulture Run-By or a Wraith Scout, and I'll be just like trying to metagame this guy and get way more Valkyries out than I should be able to and crush him. But the reality is that opens up that possible play of just going straight up lurkers here, and he completely fell flat on his face and went splat, saying, I mean, he deserves it, honestly. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a big Barracks fan, but he deserves to lose there for sure.
For sure. I mean, he left a gaping hole in his scouting and his game plan. That is true. And BTS here managed to thread the needle. He finds the exact build that can break through and crush that defense. Dude, Barracks looks so solid when he plays against Terran, but it really goes to show, like, these Terran players, even when they look that solid, once you get on top of them, once you get on top of their production facilities and you're able to break through those defenses, it's incredible how quickly they crumble.
Yeah. I mean, I just didn't think we would see True breaking out of the group first. I knew he was a contender to upset this group, and he did turn it on its head by taking out Hero in that game number one, like we expected could come to pass. But getting out 2-0, that's really impressive. And he does seem to be in good spirits today. A lot of laughing, a lot of relaxed nature about him. Maybe that kind of aura will help him out a lot going into the further stages of this tournament. I don't know if I like his chances in that round of 16, just because of the best of 3 nature of it. It's going to be super tough to break through against some of those other guys. But who knows? He might surprise us all and just about do it. He has improved a lot, especially in that versus Terran matchup, which was reflected here today. Like to see more from him. He has got a more creative way of approaching the game. Definitely not stuck in the old ways of thinking as some of these other guys are, looking down a tunnel. So, yeah, I think we could potentially see more great things from True.
Yeah, none of this would have come to pass if True hadn't won that game versus Hero, though. Getting a little bit of luck, a bit of mixture here today. A bit of luck mixed with a very brainy Zerg player managing to take out Barracks with just a super quick lurker attack. Basically, anybody can put an attack like that together. It's not that hard, but it's super hard to know exactly when to pull it out and how to pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that familiar with the StarCraft 2 scene. I don't know how successful True it was there. I know he was pretty good, but I don't know like if he was getting titles or not. I only saw a few of his games over the years. He seemed like a pretty solid Zerg. He's gonna have a hard time coming up to the same tier of players some of these other guys here in the ASL, but it's definitely possible, and he might be able to draw on those StarCraft 2 experiences to steal his nerves and play well on stage no matter the case. We're going to go into a quick break here, guys. Don't go anywhere, though, because in just a couple of minutes, we'll be going through to that losers match between Royal and Hero.
All right, guys, it's time for the losers match. We've got Hero versus Royal. I'm a bit afraid for Hero here. My confidence in him has definitely been shaken after that loss versus BTS. I still want to put him ahead of Royal, but we'll see how he performs here today. It's really hard to say that Hero could get knocked out right now, but it's definitely possible.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't think he's been playing nearly as good as he was in previous seasons. Like, I don't want to say it, but I do think he's very likely to have some issues now. Like, he might be able to deal with this losers match, but not necessarily also take down Barracks in that finals match. Hero, a little bit of work cut out for him.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard run here for sure. Even if he takes out Royal, Barracks waiting for him in that finals is scary. I'm so curious what we're gonna get here, Xun. Also, the
Litmus.
maps. Oh, we're gonna get Litmus again. Oh
Yeah, I
my
think so.
goodness. It must be Christmas. It must be my lucky day, Xun. It's actually my birthday coming up here
Oh, nice.
soon. It's actually gonna be the same day as the group selection stage, so I get that day off. That's awesome.
Oh, cool. Well, I mean, happy birthday for that day. I hope you have a really good one, Saiyan. And what better way to celebrate than watching these seriously high level games? I mean, ASL really is the Christmas and summertime for us right now. And a lot of fans in the crowd there. That guy is hoping that Hero can make it out of this group. Looks like he's got a signed shirt from him as well.
Yeah, a lot of big fans here in the crowd. It's looking pretty packed for these great players. I bet a lot of people here are shocked to see BTS make it through first and worried about who's going to make it through second, who will be eliminated here. One of these two is going out right now in the ASL 20.
Oh, absolutely, saying this is gonna get well. This group has been the spiciest for sure, and what a way to round out the ASL Season 20 Group F. It's the losers match between Royal and Hero on Litmus. Let's get this show on the road, guys.
Royal spawning top right. Hero down here bottom right. Are we going to see a one base Terran play? I'm curious. I mean,
Maybe.
It seems so strong. I'm surprised that Barracks didn't want to go for it last game. I think the idea was pretty solid from him overall to go for the eBay block and kind of hide the SCV by going around one of the other lanes that the Overlord wouldn't easily spot. Solid ideas there, but just not quite getting the execution. Look at these. praying. I think that Hero will make it through, but I'm not sure which side they're on. I'm just expecting a lot of people expecting Hero to go through in this group.
There's going to be a Barracks first on this 3 o'clock position. There's a second SCV out on the map as well. Is this going to be a BBS or is that just a scout? I mean, there's no reason he can't make a Barracks elsewhere on the map as well. So that if this Barracks was to be scouted, he would only see one of them. But it looks like it is just to be scouting here and maybe also to identify, is this going to be a quick early pull or not? Oh my gosh, it's a double fake out. So he's going to be engineering blade blocking the natural while going for a forward ARAX. But it's a pull first build from Hero. Hero understands the range of play on this map and he's going to be countering these kinds of early game shenanigans. So it's not going to be that hatchery first play that Royal was hoping for.
Oh man. Poor Royal here. He's slowed himself down so much. Like, generally when you go for an 8 racks like this, you're going to want to throw down the gas back at home. You can't float that Barracks back into a wall. It's not going to be possible. And so he's going to be kind of thrown off by this. It's going to be very hard for him to get a factory back at home now. And yes, he's delaying the natural by a lot, but Lings are going to be out here soon, Xun, and these Marines are not going to do much at all. He just throws down the hatchery here on the side.
Yeah.
I think that's fine. Just get the hatchery going. We need the larva here, and eventually he will be able to throw down a third hatchery at that location, get that gas mining and all that.
Yeah, that's why the eBay is like as far to the right as it can be while still blocking the normal hatchery placement, because he knows that Hero can just throw down a macro hatchery off to the side and optimize that way. Now he cancels the eBay and wanted to make sure that Hero couldn't mine those minerals too easily. Finally, a gas follow-up, and he's just pooling Marines at this 3 o'clock location. We'll have to see what happens now. 4 Marines and an SCV can beat 4 Zerglings, especially with a little bit of good micro. So we'll see what comes to pass now as these Marines are about to meet them.
Ooh, he almost loses a Ling. Oh, it's so painful. Can't be losing any Lings here. He's going to pull the drones, see if he can't flank this with the Lings coming from behind. Oh, he's actually going across the map right now, Xun. He's just going to go for it. He pulls the drones back to the mineral patches. Bit of wishy-washiness now from Hero. He's not sure what he should do in this kind of wacky situation, but he's gone for the counter. He's going to get over here, try to get in the base, block this factory from coming up, kill the SCVs here in the main, and he's going to have to cancel one of his hatches as well. He canceled the hatchery that was off place, and he's going to continue to make lings back at home. Oh, dude, this is such a wacky game. Again, Group F is just insane, guys.
Yeah. It's like the writers were like, hang on a minute, guys. Like, everyone that should have won. So in the final group, it's going to be absolute pandemonium. And it does actually seem that way. And he planned on canceling both of those hatcheries, which is why he made a creep colony early in the main base, just trying to buy as much time as possible. Can he slow down this factory? A lot of SCVs coming off the line to bump bellies with those Zerglings and put those fusion cutters to good work. Does pick off that one building SCV. Can he rack up any more kills? They do have 60 HP, these SCVs, so it takes a long time for those claws to chew through that Terran metal, but they can do it as long as you are careful and not getting these lings caught up too much by being surrounded by those SCVs. Oh, he gets a bit unlucky with that SCV, loses another one. Marines coming back to help out though, and we're gonna have a one base versus one base situation.
Oh, this is so weird. I mean, I'm surprised that Hero didn't immediately go to start denying that factory. Like, he was going into the mineral line and not really trading very well against that. So kind of shocking that he wanted to take that, or didn't want to go and just delay the factory immediately. But once he does, he starts to get so many kills. He's killed a ton of SCVs there. Is it enough, though, to make up for the position? This is a really rough spot right now for Hero.
Yeah. I can promise you that Hero's a little bit confused about exactly what he should do just based on those sunkens. Like, he's kind of hedging his bets and hoping for the best. He hasn't really got it mapped out what he should do. Oh, he catches the vulture, though! Beautiful from Hero, now getting on top of the ramp as well. Royal in trouble. All of the sudden, the Marines trying to circumnavigate the sides by running up to the other ramp. Not going to be enough. And now Hero on top of that starport before it can finish up, trying to get us around on that other vulture as well. Royal desperately trying to micro that with patrol micro with good. Oh, he almost catches the vulture again, not so successful this time around, and another vulture does pop out the same day, but he does eventually close out at least one of those vultures again, but it's not enough to put the nails into Royal's coffin. We are going to be having a transitional play. Hatchery finally coming up now again in that natural expansion with Aspire on the way.
Double starport? What am I even looking at, Xun? I mean, it's a crazy response we're seeing from Royal here. Double starport. I guess with the second gas, you can get out a lot of raids. You can get into that cloak upgrade. Maybe you could even go and try to get your Valkyries up here. He won't be able to get much damage with the vulture unless he... Can he loop around the top side here and go back behind the minerals? Maybe not.
I don't think so. It's also just one starport so far, saying there's no double starport.
Oh, I thought there was another starport there. What was he clicking on? I thought there was a starport. My gosh.
He actually can't afford the second starport because of how much lost mining time there was and a couple SCVs biting the dust to those Zerglings. But he will pick up one of these Overlords for free with those Gemini missiles, and there will be some neuters on the way. So I don't think he'll get a lot more than that with that first Wraith initially. But, I mean, this is going to get a bit of a crazy game soon, and he is gonna he's doing crazy Terran. He's rushing in to their science facility and doing a bit of that one base Terran that we saw before.
Yeah, I think he's been forced into doing this. I don't think this was the game plan to start, but I mean, he has to do something wacky right now. And yeah, it is indeed not a second starport. I apologize, guys. I saw in the bottom right a starport building, but maybe it was just my imagination. That science facility is done. He's going to start making a science vessel, trying to get a turret close enough to keep that starport alive, but Hero is just banging on that thing. The setup here at home is no good for Royal. Look at how spread out these turrets are, and none of them are covering the starport. This is definitely a surefire sign that he had no plans of actually doing this build right up until all that stuff went wrong in the early game.
I was trying to save drones by making creep colonies. This game is so cute and all over the place. I don't know what to make of it. Few blunders on both sides, making this even more spicier. Zerglings coming in to get a bit of a technical positional advantage by taking out some of these periphery turrets, opening up the position, forcing maybe the SCVs and a Marine to come off the line, finally a science vessel has been able to get out of the starport. There was a risk of that starport being eliminated. Oh, he's just going to go in for a dive in onto that barracks. He's quick enough that there's not going to be a quick enough repair. I think he just barely kills it. He does just barely kill it. That's absolutely insane. Now, can he finish off Royal? He's targeting down the other turret. That won't fall. He's got the preemptive repair on that just in the nick of time. So he will be able to stabilize, have a bit of zone control, keep that starport protected momentarily, but without the bunker being there, room for Hero to punish.
Well, Hero's got almost no mutas. He's got 2 mutas here. He can't really dive a turret or do anything with these mutas aside from just hit buildings on the periphery. This bunker is eventually going to come up. He's trying to save the supply depot here, but is it worth losing the vulture? Oh my goodness, he's going to throw the vulture away and loses the supply depot as well. He's got 2 vessels here over his main base with some irradiates coming online. Maybe, just maybe, Hero can hold.
Hero needs to macro up a little bit. Do you mean Royal can hold?
Oh, sorry, yeah, Royal, yes.
Terran is so resilient on one base, so I think he might just barely be fine. He's going to try and go in for a dive in, try and find this science vessel. Scourge Bomb takes out one of them. There's still another science vessel left waiting for that precious irradiate upgrade to come online. That's a pretty big deal, though, for Royal picking off one of those critical utility units already.
Very good move there from Hero. It did cost him some mutas, though. A lot of turrets here firing as he was diving through there, and he doesn't have that many units left over. Great irradiate here at the bottom, but an even better pull. Absolutely gets rid of that muta immediately, and irradiate goes by the wayside. Triple hatchery here means that Hero definitely can macro out of this position.
I always love how when you irradiate a stack of mutas, you need to like try and click a muta that's at the bottom of the stack, which is hard to find. Sometimes it's only like a couple of pixels that you can get it, but that also makes it harder for them to get the irradiated muta out of the stack. Tries to go for another bomb, unsuccessful in doing so. He has got hardly any units left available to him. I hope Hero's macroing. Yes, he has made a few drones. Needs to actually saturate his main. There's more drones mining in the natural than there is the main. Needs to make sure he smooths that out and properly gets a 2-base economy underway so that he can keep going toe-to-toe with Royal. 1-base Terran is fine as long as you can stabilize, and he will be able to make a lot of vessels, and he wants to eventually maybe make a tank as well to go and put the pressure onto Hero. You can basically afford 3 barracks, 1 factory worth of tanks, and a starport's worth of Valkyries, all on these 1 bases as long as they've got these 2 gases mining.
Yeah, looks like he might be grabbing that second gas here soon. Royal, hardly any units here, but hardly anything left over for Hero as well. Another radiate goes down. Good pull one more time. Still with just 3 mutas at the front. It's time for Royal to start pushing out. He is going to be contained very soon by a bunch of lurkers, though. Like, you can see this Hydra Den's been here for a while, and lurkers are about to get started.
Yeah, I mean, there is a little bit of timing for Royal to punish this, though. It takes a bit of time for those eggs to hatch out, and he hasn't got the aspect just yet finished, does Hero. They radiate previously also killed the last 2 Scourge that Hero had, so it's harder for him to bomb these science vessels now and shut down the possibility of irradiates being churned out. He's actually hiding 2 of the science vessels in his main base, while just 1 of these science vessels is escorting this small contingency of bioforces out on the map. Finally, another radiate coming down, but he actually doesn't want to waste too many irradiates on these mutas. He should be saving these for the lurkers if he wants any chance of busting Hero. Maybe he doesn't have any plans on putting on the pressure just yet. Maybe he's looking to expand. I'm curious.
Yeah, this is a lot of vessels, man. He can irradiate. He has irradiates for every single one of these if they do end up coming forward. So Hero's going to have to combine this with some Scourge so that he can actually get some value out of this attack if he does indeed want to go in here. Got to kill at least 1 vessel, maybe even more than that if he's going to trade out a whole bunch of lurkers coming forward here in a second. Here comes those lurkers now making their way over towards that natural. I'm not sure if this is going to go well for Hero. It could end up backfiring pretty hard. Immediate stim and run away here from the Terran player. He does get the vessel, though. That was a great snipe there with the Scourge underneath the last few remaining Mutalists here. But in the end, Hero will have to back up. Oh, he just barely gets the hatchery down. That's huge.
Yeah, he did split off a couple of Marines on either side of the map to shut down a possible third base. Unsuccessful in doing so on that right-hand side. Hero looking to transition right now. Royal looking to expand and go on the offensive with the tank support to put a bit of a siege on to Hero. There's a bit of a curious game that we have on our hands now. Very spicy early game leading to a very interesting mid-game phase now. Both players, relatively speaking, have been set back by at least a couple of minutes because of all those early game shenanigans. But now they're transitioning fully. We see that Queen's Nest on the way. There's an Evolution Chamber now getting that armor upgrade to boot. A lot of Lurkers and Lings available to Hero, looking to maybe try and clear up this Terran army and meet it out on the field.
Yeah, this could go very, very well for Hero, or it could go completely wrong. He's going to come forward here. Triple Irradiate on a bunch of these Lurkers. That's a very good start. No, just 2 Irradiates for now. We're going to come forward, try to get a couple more. Yeah, 2 more. That's 4 Irradiates. 4 dead Lurkers here, just at the cost of energy from Royal. So he's going to be very happy with that trade, and now maybe emboldened to start pushing out a little bit here and putting more pressure on Hero.
And the total cost of those Lurkers is 125 minerals, 125 gas, including the cost of the Hydra and the Morph into Lurker. So Hero cannot withstand that kind of deficit for too much longer. If Royal's able to churn out those Irradiates and constantly make these vessels, and now he's got a decent amount of tanks in support, he doesn't necessarily have to attack Hero right away. He's got this expansion on the way. As long as he can just keep this energy producing on all of these vessels, and yeah, like I say, churning out the Irradiates, that'll be huge. But actually Hero might be going for a backstab now. He's going to easily break through those stasis chambers with those Lurkers, subterranean spines in the backwards angle into this main base, and maybe that will force Royal to be more defensive here and have to come back and defend this.
Yeah, this is an interesting play from Hero, and I think that's been completely spotted by Royal, but we'll have to see if he actually responds to this appropriately. He had a Marine back there, but I'm not sure that he knows just yet. He's not moving tanks back, and he's staying out here in a very forward position. I thought he would be moving tanks at least behind the mineral patches here so they could fire over the wall as the Lurkers come in, but it seems like he still doesn't know. You've got to be kidding me here, Xun. Royal's just not reacting.
Yeah, he's just saying whatever, dude. I don't even know what to think about that. I mean, he has got Irradiates. Maybe he could have just churned out some Irradiates onto those Lurkers and shut them down, but he's instead going on the counter attack. Sometimes Flash would play like this and just ignore the threat back at home and try and execute 2 vessels, though, biting the dust, 2 Scourge in the sky. 5 tanks brought to bear to start laying siege to Hero. Meanwhile, 5 Lurkers making their way downtown into the main base on top of the Terran production line. There is this bunker here to try and help buffer against this. Some Zerglings streaming in to support. Firebats actually wrecking a little bit of havoc onto those burrowed Lurkers, but able to finish all of them off. Only 1 more biting the dust. Can Hero overrun this position? Some science vessels coming back to hold on, but 2 low HP Lurkers raining down hell on that SCV line.
Can this group get any more insane, Xun? Like, like, what is going on? We're gonna have a base trade now? You've got to be kidding me. This is actually working out marvelously for Royal. I wasn't expecting him to just go all in like this, but hey, it's kind of working out. He's going to be able to keep irradiating all the Lurkers over and over again until they're all dead here in the main, but will his buildings still be around by the time that finally happens? Still, this push into the main is super scary. Oh, he puts down an irradiate on that Lurker rather than the Defiler that's just popped out. You've got to be kidding me.
This game is absolutely insane. Maybe this group saw the rest of the tournament thus far and thought, these games have been way too linear. Hold my beer because I've got some absolute craziness in store for the viewers. I mean, this is definitely a real treat to cast for you guys. So much craziness right now. It looks like Royals finally start to clean up this attacking force in the main base, but it stopped mining for so long, caused such a havoc. Definitely, I think Royal is in a commanding position right now, though. How will Hero hold on to this third base? There's no Nidus Canal there. I don't think there's a Defiler just yet ready. I think he's got one in production, but it's not going to be out in time to consume something and throw down a big safety cloud of Cheeto dust. There was a Defiler. It just now got sniped. Hero with some Zerglings clearing up some of these siege tanks. This game is insane, but Hero will be reduced down to just one more. Oh, there's a lurker in the natural. So what is going on? I don't even know what's going on. Saying technically this is one base versus one base, but as soon as Royal can clear up this last force of Hero, he will have two bases to one. Hero trying to expand yet again. Some Zerglings going into the main base to be as tactical as possible. Adrenal Glands is actually online, so these Zerglings do a lot of DPS.
Yeah, but with 3 fire bats, I don't think it's going to quite cut it. He's going to be able to come down here, retake the bunkers, and reestablish that natural shortly. Hero, I mean, he's got Defiler. There is a possibility that he can make something happen. It's just so difficult at this point, and there's so many irradiates, he has to get super lucky.
Well, I think the main point is there's so few hatcheries, which means not much lava, which means you kind of really having to specialize in what you produce. It's hard to produce Scourge and Lurkers and Defilers all at once when you only got one hatchery worth of production. It's not like the lava spawns quicker once you've got a hive or anything. That would be a pretty cool feature. But I mean, it is what it is. He's got another hatchery on the way. If he can just stabilize, he's going to try and defend by attacking right now. He's got a Defiler out on the map. He wants to put some pressure onto Royal, so he has to stay back at home and defend while he can get this natural up.
Oh my gosh, he's going around the backside. 2 tanks back here, though. This is pretty sick. Royal's going to shut this down, it looks like. Yeah, Hero, his time has run out. He's not going to be able to win this game, but he's still going to give it one last hurrah. This is his tournament life on the line, so who can blame him? I certainly can't. I would be trying absolutely everything possible to win here, and Hero, his last hope has just run out.
Yeah, both of those lurkers getting irradiated as well. There is nothing remaining to support with that Defiler going into some kind of attacking move. That means Royals now in the clear to run it down this center lane all the way to the natural of Hero. He's probably about to type GG in a few moments. There's just no real way of stopping this. He's going to maybe hold the line with a few lurkers and lings and a Defiler popping out. But I mean, the writing's on the wall. When you got this many vessels in the sky and you can get that many irradiates out against the Zerg, if they've only he's got a D-Matrix fire bat he can run in with now as well. This is crazy, Saiyan.
Yeah, this is Royal just clearing it out with the D-Matrix fire bat. Nothing can be done at this point. Great Plague, of course, but with so few units remaining and this hatchery going down, we're going to be seeing a tap out now from Hero. It's really unfortunate to see him go down like this, but this was an excellent game. Just a fantastic game to watch to cast, guys. Absolute cinema. This game here in the round of 24.
And look at this last remaining hope. This Firebat with D-Matrix, the Perdition Flamethrower ripping through that last remaining lurker, and Royal is going to be joining us in that finals match. Oh my gosh, he's gonna get the rematch against Barracks. GG is called. This group has just been off the chain crazy, Saiyan. Just when we thought that all of our expectations would be lined up in this ASL, the final group stage has been anything but predictable.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just the beginning of that game, Hero killed so many SCVs. He brought Royal so low in this game, and he managed to return and come back out on that map. He played pretty brilliantly, honestly. after all of that craziness in the early game. I was pretty shocked to see him not react to the lurkers coming in his back door, but I mean, in the end, this worked out really, really well for him. Just going for the attack across the map. Definitely there was some mistakes, but in the end, just the constant irradiates came through for Royal, and he manages to take this game.
To be honest with you, saying the way I've seen a lot of Terrans lose their games is by being hesitant and like sending their army back to defend and wasting so much tempo. When Flash was his most dominant was when he would just say screw you to any counter attacks and pull the trigger on a massive timing attack and just use his rallied forces to hold the line back at home. And that way of thinking really paid off for him, and it did here again today.
Yeah, this was definitely the craziest match of the night. I can't imagine it being any more nuts, this final Royal versus Barracks. Guys, that's coming right up after this commercial break. Okay, boys, it comes down to this final match of the night. Hero eliminated first. I would not have expected that
Right.
at all. For sure, I thought that Hero was the favorite to go through this group. Barracks being that close second, and now we're going to have Barracks versus Royal in the final with BTS going out first. Crazy, man, but it's been a crazy night of StarCraft, that's for sure. Definitely the wildest and most interesting, most exciting group so far.
Oh, absolutely, Saying astute observations as always. But I mean, I think historically speaking, Hero is definitely the favorite to go out of this group. But I will admit he's been slightly underperforming in recent times. So even though it's a bit of a shocker to see True go out first, I'm not totally surprised by it. I did think there was that chance of an upset, and as a result, True might be able to break through right away due to how much his Zerg versus Terran has improved. So, yeah, I do think this is a crazy upset still, and it is a really action-packed group, but I'm still not totally surprised by it. I did think an upset like this was most likely to occur in a group of this nature.
Yeah, I think that Litmus actually was the reason why Hero wasn't able to win that map. He had the build advantage. He had so much damage. He hurt Barracks really badly there and put him into a terrible, excuse me, not Barracks, Royal, into a terrible position. But because of that second gas, he was able to make vessels and tanks and get irradiate and make Marines. Like, he had so much tech coming off of that one base. He was able to bring it back, and that's just not what Hero was expecting. He thought he was in an amazing spot. So did we, but Royal is here, and he's ready to get this rematch going against Barracks.
Yeah, super exciting, guys. And he did smash Royal in that game number 1 on Dominator. Will we be seeing a repeat of that here today? I don't know. I think that both players are capable of taking this, but my hopes is on Barracks actually getting out of this group. I think he's the overall better player and deserving of it. The map's going to be Polestar, by the way, guys. This group has just been a roller coaster, not only in terms of emotions and in casting it, but also just the absolute crazy shenanigans we've witnessed in the gameplay on either side. Even the Terran versus Terrans have been really quickly. Will we be seeing another super short game? Or now with this macro map Polestar, will we have a really long game on our hands?
Yeah, it's possible we could get a nice long game here. TVT historically has been pretty long, but it's been getting shorter and shorter as time's gone on.
Oh, here we go, guys. The ASL Season 20 Group F final match. It's going to be Royal versus Barracks fighting for their tournament life, and it's on Polestar.
Royal spawning bottom left. Barracks bottom right now. And I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit here, Xun. My goodness, these games have been intense. Hard to keep it under wraps here today.
I'm feeling okay, but I was feeling a little bit in my throat there earlier. Definitely noticing that the craziness of this group has led to a bit of a degradation in my overall quality of throat due to, just having to, try and keep up with the action. It's just not easy always, especially that Zerg versus Zerg right at the start. That was so insane. Like, just keeping up with what's going on is a big challenge as a caster, let alone these players having to task switch on multiple battlefronts while macroing on all cylinders. It's really tough to keep up with the action here, especially in the ASL, the highest quality of games, and I'm sure this TVT will be a banger as well.
Well, before it gets fully underway, guys, I just want to remind you that we have a Patreon page. It's patreon.com/ Saiyan Xun Duo cast. That's our Patreon that pays for us to come here and cast these games for you guys. We'd love to do it just for passion alone, and we've been doing it on passion alone for a long time, but to be able to continue doing this for the long term and keep showing up here to ASL, SCSL, KCM, and all the other casts that we do together, it would be nice if it was financially viable as well, and that's what you guys can help out with, or help us out with. It is once again SAIYANXUN Duo Cast at Patreon. So check it out, guys. You can also just sign up as a free member and get information about when we're going to be doing all of those other casts as well.
Yeah, we love you guys that have been able to support us both in spirit and a little bit with some monetary thrown our way. It's super big thank you to you guys helping us keep doing what we love best. And there is also our PayPal links on there if you don't really like Patreon for whatever reason. We do have another way of supporting us through those PayPal links. So yeah, big shout out to you guys for helping us do what we love to do, and we hope to continue to do so for many years to come.
Absolutely. Now, both players opening with the 12 gas, getting into these barracks, and we haven't seen a second Rax thrown down here just yet. It's not as strong on this map as it was on Dominator, so it's much less likely to see. Royal has pulled off all of his SCVs from the gas and prioritizing getting the CC out a little bit faster. You can see that timing lining up just a little bit nicer for him here. Barracks will throw down his CC, albeit a tiny bit delayed. Royal taking a tiny, just a sliver of an advantage in that regard, but this game is almost mirrored other than that.
Yeah, really solid openings from both sides. This is about one of the most standard ways you can approach the matchup. You can see both players elected to build two of these Marines as well, so they were not too susceptible to some early pressure in the way of like a BBS or what have you. And yeah, we'll probably see a pretty intense game as a result of it. And I'm really curious, are we going to be seeing a vulture war here? Are we going to be seeing a very tactile play from one of these guys? I mean, 1-1-1 is viable in this match. Yeah, there's the starport from Royal. Literally, as I was saying, 1-1-1 is viable. We see a starport being thrown down for one of these guys. Royal here in the bottom left getting the 1-1-1, whereas Barracks electing to get a second factory on the way.
Barracks flying in now. Might be able to get the scout information there and figure out what's coming. If you see this, can immediately throw down a armory and just make sure that you've got a Goliath. You'll win on the ground. You're going to have more vultures than your opponent. And look at this. Barracks actually going to win this fight pretty handily, killing off one vulture early on. And he's got a factory advantage. This is pretty good for Barracks right now.
Yeah, no, it's pretty big. I mean, we could see that be leveraged against Royal here. And we have seen a lot more Goliaths in this matchup in general. Players have figured out just how strong those are. I mean, we've always seen Goliaths utilized in TVT. They're not technically the most optimal unit to get, but in terms of mobility and getting them into positions to do the damage necessary, especially in small numbers, like until there's a mass amount of tanks, you don't really have to worry too much. And Goliath drops have always been a thing as well from a long time ago. So I'm curious to see if Barracks will go for some kind of tempo play here. Will he not only get those upgrades on super early and try and rush for that +2 timing, but also maybe utilize Goliaths both in shutting down this Wraith play, but also trying to apply pressure to Royal.
Yeah, he spotted this Wraith coming in, so he's going to have Goliaths back at home. No doubt that's going to be shut down completely as he flies here into the main. Just have to run away. This paper plane can die extremely fast. Ooh, bit of a mistake there. Targeting his own building, I believe. Not getting too many shots off on this Wraith, but the Wraith will be driven back, and Royal gets nothing but scouting information here.
Yeah, just 6 volleys from those Goliaths to take down that Wraith with their Hellfire missiles. So he needs to be super careful with that. paper plane in the skies, mainly used for scouting for the time being. We'll also be able to eventually provide vision for these tanks. They can shoot further than they can see. And if there's no Goliaths out on the map, they can also put a clock on some of those siege tank lines and force a reaction out of the other guy. But for the most part, it's going to be used for scouting, at least for the time being. And more and more factories now starting to come online for Royal, trying to play catch up. He's got the tech advantage with that starport, but needs to also go toe-to-toe with Barracks' production line. So it makes sense to start churning out the factories now.
Yeah, it seems like Barracks probably going to get a bit of an advantage in terms of his upgrades here. No, hasn't started that +1 just yet. Has the armory, but hasn't started the +1. Here comes the scan, and Royal can start to push forward. Needs to get out of this containment area, get out of this natural area, make sure that Barracks can't utilize these mines to just get a really nice position in front of his base. So he's managed to do that. He's now out on the map, and this game can continue on, guys. We may end up seeing a much longer TVT here since we've skipped over the Vulture War. It's highly possible that Royal and Barracks can just set up some tank lines and go into, 2, 3, 4 bases.
Well, it seems like Barracks was, considering putting on some pressure here to Royal, but Royal reading that eventuality and has actually got a pretty strong forward siege tank line already set up here. So Barracks is going for the next best thing of trying to shut down additional lanes being established by Royal and lock him out from taking too much of the map. So he's going to set up on this high ground position here. And Terran versus Terran is all about position and locking out lanes from your opponent. If you can stop them from expanding, keep them on either 3 or 4 bases long term, eventually you will outscale them in the game. There's a starport about to finish up for Barracks, but there was a much earlier starport for Royal. So I'm curious about the upgrade timings. Will one of these guys be able to get that +2 weapons out before the other and get a massive edge in this game? +2 allows you to 2-shot tanks with siege mode instead of 3-shotting. But look at this, Royal's trying to move across horizontally, but that means the position was open. So Barracks shuffled forward, killed 2 of the tanks for free. Now he's going to launch a bit of a pressure play to the rally point of Royal, right as Royal was trying to set up in the center of that lane.
Who has the faster siege here? It looks like Barracks gets the better end of this attack. He's going to be able to kill that tank. No, he doesn't target the tank down there in the bottom left in the natural. And so that tank gets a few extra really important shots off. And it looks like Royal's going to clear up the majority of this. Running forward here with 1 Goliath. Oh, not able to get in range or inside of the siege tank range, and so he's not able to get that kill. He almost gets hit by a mine as well. So dangerous here. Barracks playing with fire.
Yeah, I mean, he was so close to getting that Goliath, like 1 pixel closer to that tank, and he's underneath the cannon on that tank and won't actually take that shot, but miscalculated it ever so slightly. When everything is going off, it's hard to click pixel perfect in this game. He's trying to take this 3 o'clock expansion, Barracks is, that is, but Marine for Royal actually coming over here to try and shut this down. He might just barely not kill the SCV in time. As Vulture's coming, actually does still kill the SCV, slowing that expansion down by a good 30 seconds. Definitely worth it. His own command center built inside the main base will be floated over. There are some mines to spot for that. We might have a real game on our hands, saying this is looking interesting.
Yeah, he's going to be able to slow down this command center by a little bit. There's still wide open areas on this map for players to kind of slip by each other. Vulture's going to try to run forward here. Ooh, he's going to lose a couple of Vultures there pretty much for free. Definitely getting these upgrades rolling along now. Barracks adding... Oh, he's got to re-add the Barracks for himself, so... can't actually get more factories for the time being, and Royal is actually getting a bit of a macro edge in that regard. 1 single tank up here on the high ground. Not enough to defend these SCVs, and there could be a mine here. No, he doesn't have any mines, so he's actually going to save this tank as well.
Yeah, he should just barely save it. Although, yeah, he will save it. Barracks is compensating by not being able to make factories by pulling a couple of Wraiths. So he's going to go around the map with these Wraiths, see if he can get some value out of them. Those burst lasers can chew through some tanks that are undefended. Finally, though, Royal does have a couple of Goliaths of his own to defend those tank lines, so not too much value being afforded to Barracks for producing those Wraiths just yet. Royal's expansion is ever so slightly later than Barracks, not by a significant margin. Barracks has traded better so far in this game, but that can turn around very quickly here. Barracks surging forward yet again, trying to get on top of this rally point position of Royal. He is going to take out these 2 siege tanks. Royal rotating around back to safety with some of these tanks from that northern flank. There are also Wraith support here in the sky. A dropship was made for Royal, but it's going to be a little bit of time before he can utilize that. He's worried about making sure that he can keep Barracks at bay. It does look like he's going to be successful in doing so, but it is slowing down his own game plan.
It doesn't really look like it from what we're seeing on screen, but Barracks is way more spread out, and he's got a big advantage in terms of supply. 20 supply advantage here nearly, as he holds his position just outside the natural of Royal. Almost loses a second Wraith there. Those paper planes do go down so quickly. Royal got the faster CC for the third, and he's already taking his fourth now, but both players are expanding and growing out into the map. Who's got the better position, though, overall? That's what's really going to matter here in TVT.
I think Barracks' position temporarily is superior, but that could change so quickly. You got the dropships now coming out from Royal, forcing a distraction, as well as killing some of these precious SCVs. And if Royal starts to open up the rest of the map, take the center, it could get crazy. But Barracks is trying to solidify his position right now by double expanding, taking the top right as his fourth, as well as a fifth base at the 12 o'clock. Meanwhile, Royal only thinking about that fourth base temporarily. So Barracks is trying to leapfrog ahead of Royal while he's got this technically superior position out on the map. Finally, that supply count starting to equalize between both players as Royal starts to ever so slightly eclipse Barracks. But yeah, this could get super crazy, super quick. You just have to repair that dropship. It's so low HP, you can't just send that in. It could just die to a single turret here.
I'm surprised that he didn't kill that drop. He was chasing the drop for a long time, and Wraiths are faster. Should have been able to get the kill on that, but more things, more pressing things going on for Barracks on the map at that moment, and so he's not going to clear that up. It's actually going to come back in. You've got to be kidding me. 17 HP? Oh my gosh, that's actually going to get off.
What if a Wraith popped out right at that second? He's just going to get lucky and get in there, but imagine a Wraith just pops out and squashes it like a bug. There are some Wraiths coming down to deal with that, but he will get the units out in time to do some kind of SCV damage. A few SCVs already starting to go down there. Not necessarily compensating for the loss of investment of that dropship and units, but it is distracting Barracks and allowing Royal to push through to the center of the board. This is what we were talking about a few moments ago. The position of this can change very quickly. There are some tanks in the backline here to try and hold off Royal, but he has enough units to surge forward. That's a beautiful mine hit, though, squashing a couple of those tanks. He will eventually fight Barracks back the majority of space, but cloaked Wraiths come in to get on top of this Valkyrie. He does manage to retreat that to safety, but these cloaked Wraiths will put a bit of a timer on some of these siege tanks.
Oh, he's got to go after the Valkyrie. Oh, get the Valkyrie. Looks like he's going to get it. They do actually kill Valkyries super fast. Wraiths have that. The Gemini missiles, the anti-air missiles are incredibly strong, but they die so much faster once you've got a few Valkyries out. It's almost worthless in the sky. They're almost worthless. Just popping instantaneously as soon as the missiles start to come out for those Valkyries. However, for the time being, it's still going to be able to kind of dip in here a little bit. Getting a Goliath kill would be big, but another Goliath comes up, and he has to retreat here again. Not going to be able to take domination over that tank line. Would really like to clear that out, but looks like Royal's going to slip around the top. This is a sick move from Royal. He's going to get in most likely to the top right and get a lot of SCV kills.
Yeah, I think he's going to potentially get a lot of SCV kills here. He's actually not going to send all of the vultures up there. Like, literally just one vulture is checking while the rest are snaking around. So he's actually not going to get the damage we thought he might. He's just mainly looking to mine up. He might be able to come here to the 3 o'clock, though, and get a lot of those SCVs over there. Inversely, we've got Barracks at the 9 o'clock, killing a tank with mines and getting onto the SCV line. So there's SCVs falling on both sides right now. Absolute craziness in this game in terms of unit harassment. there is a big pool of Wraiths that Barracks has been able to produce. He killed one of those Valkyries already. A Vulture does slip by into that mineral line in the top right. He's going to have like 8 or 9 kills by the time anything gets up here to deal with this. Has Barracks even noticed that? Like, he just now sees it with the screen, so he's going to send some units up there to deal with that, but not before it gets like 10 or so SEV kills. This game is already really spicy despite Barracks having a technically superior position.
Yeah, he's not got a lot of units here in the middle, Xun. He could actually be broken by Royal. Royal's put everything together into one massive clump and is going to try to push through this middle. He's got the the +2 attack as well. Oh, actually, sorry, that's Barracks that was clicked. Both the players have that 2 attack. There we go. Oh, the mine almost connecting there. Would have been insane. That's a lot of Wraiths, Xun. He might be able to just dive here directly on top of those 2 Goliaths. Taking them out would help him to open up this position.
Oh, absolutely. There is a science vessel, so he doesn't have to keep scanning every time the Wraiths dive in with that cloak upgrade. So he's instead going to circle around and take out a turret or 2 that's holding the line elsewhere, soften up the position for Royal to have to worry about, and keep responding to these active threat of Wraiths and slow down Royal's advances and coming up here onto this northern hemisphere to apply pressure to this greedy expansion warpath of Barracks. So Barracks defending by attacking at the time being and forcing a response out of Royal. Will Royal pull the trigger and just shove it down now anyway, knowing that he has a clear lane of attack to this 12 o'clock and could also rotate around to that northeast quadrant of the map? A lot of SCVs dying in that natural expansion of Royal currently, but he is gearing up for another assault here at that northern flank.
Dude, Royal doesn't know about this base. He has no idea that that base is there. Otherwise, he would have definitely attacked into that. He's going to try and push down the ramp. Dude, he's going to be so mad when he watches the replay and finds out that he's mining at 12 o'clock and how long he's been mining here. So many tanks coming up for Royal. Both players nearly maxed out, but a lot of Wraiths have been made. And Barracks has a lot of his army kind of spread out throughout the map. He's trying to hold down a lot of these different positions, while Royal is just gunning for this top right.
Yeah, it's really interesting, this position. If only he knew about that 12 o'clock, maybe this game would look a lot more on Royal's side of things. But now that Barracks has gotten away with mining for free at that base for so long, despite Royal having a direct access to attack it, that's going to really come back to haunt him. There is a teeny tiny advantage in upgrades for Royal, 2-1 versus 2-0, but they still do two-shot these tanks. Another big play for the center of the board. Wraiths coming in to support. A lot of tanks trying to re-seize control over this central terrain. I think that there's enough Goliaths here, so in support of those tanks, that this is going to be a bit of a no man's land set up between either side for the time being. The hard thing about Terran versus Terran is where you allocate your defenders and attackers relative to your other opponent. You have to scan a lot, see where the tanks are leveraged, and pool enough forces to attack where they are weakest. And really tough to balance all of those things. You can see the supply support of Barracks right now. He's been trading better. He's been mining a few more resources at 12 o'clock base. He's trying to expand yet again. Finally, though, Royal expanding vertically all the way to that northwestern quadrant, right as some dropships are heading that way to shut it down.
It's the time for the dropship phase of the game. Are those SCVs coming up here to try to expand to 12? Yes, they are. Oh my goodness, Royal gonna be so mad when he sees that. He's gonna immediately react, but then the drops get over here and start to deny his base. This is super frustrating for Royal right now. He's gonna go ahead and utilize these Goliaths. Just get rid of that mine. Can he get it? He will get that mine kill. And so these tanks are just gonna last for that much longer, killing even more units here as he tries to clear it out.
I mean, Royal's going to clear it out, but he is trading more effectively than Barracks. And that's the funny thing about TVT, is you're not necessarily trying to kill your opponent at any one time. You're just trying to find these positional advantages to get better trades overall. He's got the Wraiths actually to try and hold on to this base. There's some dropships as well. Is Barracks going to make a play for this 12 o'clock still and hang on to it? He certainly could. Yeah, he's going to unload the units. He was thinking about dropping the top left, but now he's thinking, hang on a minute, I might be able just to hold on to this 12 o'clock. The rest of the dropships making their way to see if they can punish. There's 2 turrets are on the way, but they're not finished in time. He unloads on top of those C2 siege tanks and will start to cause a bit of a nightmare for Royal.
Yeah, this is a really tough spot to dislodge Barracks from. He's going to get up here on the high ground, start to threaten the CC below. and he's holding 12. Like, this is starting to go really bad for Royal.
Yeah, this is problematic, to say the least. Suboptimal Saiyan. He's going to have to use more units than Barracks has brought to bear to dislodge these positions that Barracks has set up. And he's still mining on that 12 o'clock base. Royal has a few dropships of his own, but usually counter drops is the way to go. Like, the guy that counters the drops of the opponent tends to come out on top. But look at how many dropships there are for Barracks. That's 10 dropships. Good luck countering that, buddy. There's only 3 dropships or so for Royal to utilize. And right as he starts to come up here into that northwestern quadrant to clear out that harassment from Barracks, Barracks is going to drop so many tanks potentially into the main production line of Royal, or this third base.
Yeah, he's going right into the back of the main base. This is such a big move. So many tanks are going to come out here. He's simultaneously denying the base over the wall as well. This is such a sick move.
He's doing both. I was wondering which one is he going to do, and he's doing both. He's going to deny mining at the third and pressure the production facilities of Royal. Absolute insanity here. You need to be able to counter drop this, but Royal doesn't have a massive fleet of dropships of his own just yet. There is a superior number of Barracks. It's hard to come in here and punish this unless you have like 8 or so dropships of your own, and Royal certainly doesn't have that. He's looking to circumnavigate this problem by leveraging his forces elsewhere, but it's hard to do that. Barracks has pretty much set up everywhere. Here comes the counter drop now with 3 dropships, but it won't clean up as cleanly as it would be with more, and that's the problem right now. Usually you counter dropships with dropships, and he just doesn't have a large fleet.
Oh, here comes the potentially finishing blow now. Barracks with so many drops, looking to redrop that main base and just keep the damage going. So many supply depots have gone down. He's at 124 supply overall to the 200 of Barracks. He's just going to land here kind of in a random area. It's okay, though. Just get the units out, keep the dropships alive here, and go ahead and load up some more. As long as he's trading, even at a deficit, it's going to be fine.
Yeah, he's maxed out, whereas Royal is on 130 supply, and he's lost a lot of depots. He's going to be capped at 164. Barracks is doing it. He's looking to break out of this group a bit belatedly. Finally, a big enough counter drop in that main base. But here comes the counter drop to counter the counter drop. Has got a Goliath and a turret, though, to ward those away. You don't want to risk losing too many drop ships for free. So he's going to send them around to the top left now instead. If he can shut down this base ever getting online for Royal, not only will Royal trade cost inefficiently to secure that base, but he's going to be on less mining bases overall, and that's a game-winning position for Barracks. He scans, there's already some tanks there, but he's going to pounce on them anyway.
Yeah, he's going to go right on top of these tanks, kill them off basically instantaneously. They just vaporized there under that tank fire, underneath all of those dropships, and now the high ground has once again been established here by Barracks, who just holding this base is continuing to extend his advantage. And Royal, I mean, he's going to go and load up most likely, try to get on top of these, but there's a ton of Goliaths over at that spot as well. And so even if he does go in, he's going to lose some of his dropships, and that's just going to give Barracks even more of an advantage when it comes to these counter drops.
I mean, look how many units Barracks has got. It's insane. There's so many tanks on screen right now. He's going to just roll. Oh, he's unsieging right as these tanks come in. Little of a mistake there from Roy. He's going to pay the price as a D-Matrix tank, but it's not going to matter. It's not going to soak up nearly enough shots. Boom goes the dynamite, saying that expansion is not long for this world. There's a drop coming in to the top right, but as I told you earlier, counter drops is the aim of the game. If you just drop on top of their drop, you will usually come out on top. And that's certainly happening here as well. And unfortunately for Royal, he's going to have to tap out soon. He's in a lot of trouble. There is no way of recovering this position. It is definitely untenable. There's those 2 letters, and Barracks going to be joining True in that round of 16.
Yeah, he makes it through. I mean, this is some great display of mechanics from Barracks in that game. He was controlling rates and hitting his macro better than Royal. staying on top of him that game. I'm sure that Royal's going to be super disappointed that he didn't see that 12 o'clock, but really Barracks was on top of him. He was definitely the better player here today. Definitely the better Terran player. GG, Barracks makes it through.
Yeah, Royal slumping in his chair, a little bit deflated. Barracks also talking to himself a little bit. Sighs of relief. The tension has been cut with a knife, and he can finally smile a little bit. There's that happy chat. I love the expressions of Barracks, by the way. Like, he's one of the funniest looking pro gamers just because he's not good at hiding his facial expressions. A lot of these other guys are just like laser focused killers, whereas Barracks is kind of animated. And I just love that about him.
Yeah, he's a very cool player, and I'm really excited to see him going forward. This move was so sick. Sometimes it can kind of backfire on you, dropping on top of the supply depots like this. The tanks start to kind of splash themselves down, but here didn't allow any of that splash to go on his own units, and he was able to hit that base over the wall while cleaning out all these supply depots and that armory as well, starting to kill off the production. And this was really the first nail in the coffin here for Royal. As soon as he wasn't able to block that drop from getting in, it was becoming harder and harder for him to stay in this game.
Yeah, 20 less mining SCVs. He's supply blocked from being maxed out anymore, so there'll always be more units on the board for Barracks to leverage and counter drop whatever drops Royal can muster. Just superior understanding and execution here from Barracks. His mechanics finally shining through in a big way in this finals match. He's such a talented and strong player. Had a little bit of trouble earlier though, but it doesn't matter. He is still breaking out of this group, and I gotta say, he is looking pretty strong, Sam.
Yeah, we were expecting him to do well this group. We had some surprise upsets there with BTS, but Barracks making it through. I think the entire tournament is better off for that.
Yeah. No, I think he definitely is a deserving contender of that round of 16 spot. Yes, he is technically the tier 3 player, and the expected winners was Hero and Royal, but I always had my eyes on Barracks over Royal in this group stage. The major upset is that true, beating out through this group stage first 2-0, as well as smashing Hero in that Zerg versus Zerg. And Hero was technically winning that game, guys. He killed 3 drones in the early game. He just couldn't keep it together. The counterattack with the Zerglings, too much to handle. And just kind of fell through. Wasn't able to execute his micro with the Mutas versus the Scourge. And it slipped through his fingers. And that's going to come to haunt him. Yes, he's technically one of the better Zergs in the entire scene for a long time now. But he has been slumping as of late. I'm a little bit worried for his future chances. I'm curious, has maybe his unlucky runs in the ASL finally taken a toll on his psyche? And he's not as hungry for it as he once was, and isn't able to put out his best games. Who knows?
That is possible. I mean, he's been number 2 for a long time in my mind, for sure. He's been just behind Soulkey as that number 2 Zerg player for quite a while, and has always been just that king of silver when it comes to Zerg players. Maybe that's really, like you said, taken a toll on his mental. I'm not so sure. I hope he comes back with a vengeance in the next season and really shows us what he's capable of. But he's going to have to go back to the drawing board for now. His ASL run is over, and BTS, I mean, this guy is the new and exciting player. He's the guy who's going to get in here and mix things up. He had kind of an objectively easy run through this group, like getting that quick counterattack and actually winning over Hero. I mean, that was extremely lucky that Hero let that happen. And then the quick kill on Barracks as well. He didn't have to fight it out in a long game. He didn't have to, kind of bash and actually bang with Barracks. He just gets that quick win, absolutely slides in, cruises into the round of 16.
Yeah, that was definitely a mistake though from Barracks. Not making a Wraith to scout or a Vulture run by with speed to put on the pressure as well as scout. It is what it is though. Anything can happen. I mean, it's very rare to go for a two-based lurker at the pro level. So he just kind of maybe let that slip through his brain and was trying to metagame too much. And you see that in a lot of these guys that they cut corners as much as possible to make the mid game as strong as possible. And that leaves up holes and ways of your opponent exploiting you. It happens on the ladder a lot, and it's happened here today in the ASL. But he did redeem himself, has broken through to that round of 60, and he looks like a happy chappy about it as well. The youth of the group has been able to beat out over the older, more experienced guys. That's not always the case. We used to think that the young guys would always be winning out in a game like StarCraft, as intense, mechanically speaking, as it is. But that's not been the case. Sometimes actually the experience has been winning out, but not here today. It's definitely the younger guys smashing face.
A little bit disappointed that Hero goes out here, but you know what? He gave us a fantastic showing against Royal. That game, that's going down in history, Shun. That was one of the best games we've seen in ASL 20 so far, and I'm excited for more crazy action in the upcoming round of 16. Next week, guys, no ASL, just the group selection stage. We're going to take a little break, but then we'll be back the week after in September to bring you guys more StarCraft Brood War action.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't sleep on it, guys. Check out that group selection. It can be both funny and interesting to see how they strategize, especially those seeds and who they will put in their group and move over to another group. And I'm sure Sulky will be avoiding ZVZ like the plague. He's done that in recent times, looking to do that again, but he can't avoid it forever. Eventually, he's going to run into a Zerg, especially with how Zerg dense this tournament is, into a round of 8 or a round of 4 semi-final scenario. I wonder, is this going to be finally the season that he won't be able to avoid that set? Will he be taken down at long last and not be able to get a 5th consecutive title? It's long overdue.
Well, I'm going to be watching that group selection stage with interest, as you all should, guys. We are going to sign off for now, though. Thank you so much for watching this round of 24 today, Group F, and it's all done, guys. Next time, we're going to have best of 3s. I'm so excited, Shun.
Yeah, I'm so excited too. Well, I've been Xun, with me, San. We've had a blast bringing you guys this cast. We'll be seeing you in a couple of weeks on Monday, guys. Hope to see you there. Thanks. Peace out.